heard this story before.
It does seem to ring a few. It seems to have a certain amount of deja vu, I think.
Exactly.
The thing is, actually, in this space, what we've seen is a huge number of startups being given a lot of money. And so it's happened to any number of leaders of these groups. They've thought, well, why should I take a paycheck which to us might seem huge, but to them is relatively small compared to how much they could raise going elsewhere. And perhaps this is a case where he's done much the same, gone out, raised $52 million, and started this company. Now, that's much what happened with Google or Waymo, as it's now called. Andy Lewandowski left, set up a company of his own, which he then sold to Uber for a significant sum. Those guys have been sued for technology theft, allegedly. They're doing the same here.
David, what do you make of this? Obviously, we know that the war for tech talent has always been fierce, but now specifically in the self-driving realm, it seems the stakes are even higher.
Well, allow me to be a little bit cynical because, first of all, we don't think of China as being the hotbed of intellectual property protection, so I wouldn't expect that legal action is going to yield all kinds of fruit in that area, first of all. Second of all, you know, a lot of things are done for effect in this arena, and China spends enormous amount of time thinking about Chinese companies and the Chinese government thinking about how can we seem to be better than or as good as American tech companies. So Baidu is, you know, more attentive to Google than even you and I are. So I think it probably serves their interest tremendously well to be seen as having the same problem that Google had, and suing this guy in the exact same way that Google sued its veteran executive who left. But on the other hand, when I look at, I don't know anything about the case, but I look at his investors, Ximing Venture Partners and NVIDIA, those are extremely reputable investors. I can't believe they would have invested in his company if he was the kind of guy who was walking out the door of Baidu with a lot of IP that it didn't belong to him. So to me, the whole thing smacks of a PR exercise.
That is interesting. Yet it has happened before.
Yes, I think the one element here you do have to consider is they are clearly competitors, right? And one upshot that we've seen of the Waymo Uber case is that it has created a certain amount of headwind for Uber's development. You know, they've lost some talent. Lewandowski himself has left.
It's a huge headwind.
Exactly. So it's made it harder for them to achieve their goals. Now, you could look at this much in the same context. Baidu sees a quite well-capitalized competitor, perhaps more nimble than Baidu is because it's smaller, leeching talent from them, and they are trying to find a way to put up a few buffers for them.
Talk to us a little bit about Baidu's approach to self-driving cars, the open source approach.
So it was quite funny, actually. We had so we've done this graphic. We've been trying to update every quarter, every 6 months, of all the alliances between every single company in the autonomous driving space. Baidu then comes out and announces several dozen partners in this project called Apollo, where they're borrowing intellectual skills from some rivals, some people with different skill sets, and which rendered our whole map of all these companies completely redundant because they have got more partnerships than anyone else. Now, I'm always slightly wary when anyone ever calls anything open source because, you know, think about Google's AI stuff. There is clearly some agenda there and perhaps driving people towards Google Cloud. So completely open source, not quite, but they are lending a lot of the technology to other people.